All right.
Janky studio.
Hey, you just start now. We'll get better. Each time.
Yeah.
Like, even you look at Joe Rogan's first couple podcasts, and they're like fucking
That was
terrible.
just him in his living
Mm-hmm.
room. Just hanging out.
Even his first studio, like the video and all that's not that great. Then you gotta hire a Jamie to look up all this shit. That's what I like about his podcast, though, you know? Is that he gets fact checked all the time in like real time.
Well, once you get to a certain point, you have to get a producer.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because look at Tom Segura and Christina
Is that his wife?
Pajitsky.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his wife. Yeah. Their podcast is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a big operation. They wouldn't have the time in the day just to do it by themselves.
Well, he does that one, and then he does the 2 Bears, 1 Cave.
Yeah.
That one's fucking funny.
I just watched The Machine last week.
Did you? It's pretty funny.
Didn't hated it.
Oh,
She's
really?
like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's so
I'm like,
stupid.
Yeah,
that
that's
it's
why
funny.
I'm watching it.
Yeah. I watched it when it first came out.
Yeah.
Not in theaters, but like when it came out on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it. It was pretty funny.
We're going to have a lot of noise for this podcast because my mic stands are not going to work for this situation.
Need longer ones. Longer
Well-
stands.
The idea was to have a desk,
Oh, yeah.
you know, but until we get moved to the new place and I get everything set up, I'll get the boom mics that you can connect to the table and move them around.
Mm-hmm. That'll be perfect. Skull.
Prost. I'm just going to mute my mic. I'm going to double check one thing.
Do it.
I hit the record button, but it wasn't under video, it was under photo.
Oh, shit. So you just took a picture.
Yeah, the whole podcast was just a picture.
I listened to one podcast called Traveling Man. And he was talking about that, how he did like a really good podcast, like 3 hours long. And then like the file got corrupted and they lost it. And he's like, I had to call the guest back and be like, we have to re-record everything exactly how we first did. Same reactions and everything.
That sounds aggravating.
Yeah, it sounds annoying. Because he was like visiting from out of town too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably still post it. I'll just put the picture of us sitting there.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. That's all you need.
And I still need to get set up on iTunes.
Yeah, because some podcasts don't even do video. Sometimes
Yeah.
some of them are just
Yeah.
the audio. Which I like the video better because you can sit there and watch it.
Right.
Like, that's how I watch Joe Rogan's. I'll turn it on and then I'll put it, like when I'm driving, I'll put it in the dashboard by the speedometer.
Yeah.
And I'll just watch it while I'm driving down the road because I'm driving for hours a day. So I just
You
sit
got
there
a
and
cup holder?
Yeah, I got a cup holder. My phone won't fit in it though.
I may have like a cup holder mount you could just set it on.
Well, I have a vent mount when I'm using GPS and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's like way off to the side. And so I'd rather, if I'm watching a video, I'd rather it be right there in front of me on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Because I do that on long car rides. I used to put like Netflix up, and I'd watch Netflix while I'm driving, especially if it's like a 12-hour drive.
Well, I'd take my iPad and set it up on my console in the middle.
Oh, and watch it like that?
Yeah, when I had the Tacoma.
Oh.
Yeah, it worked good. Hey, guess what? I forgot to shut off the AC.
Oh, yep.
You want to grab that?
Yeah.
It's right around the corner over there. Should be a mode button. We are professionals. Did you open the door? Yeah. Should be one of the little buttons on the right. You should be able to just push it and it'll say off. Does it say off?
It says,
All right, it'll take it a second. There we go. But you were talking about the Traveling Man?
yeah, the Traveling Man podcast.
It's a Masonic one?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. There's a couple good podcasts out there. There's one called I think it's just called the Freemasons podcast. And I hate that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
Well, there's like 4 or 5 guys that are sitting around talking and they're drinking and stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what we're doing. But they're like very loud and obnoxious while they're doing the podcast. And so you can't hear half of it because they're all talking at once and like yelling and just going crazy.
That doesn't sound good.
No, I've tried listening to it several times, and it's just sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not. Like they can't even get through a story without, like a 10-minute story takes them like 2 hours to get through.
No.
Yeah.
I've got one called Masonic History. Historical light, illuminating our past is just a historical podcast. It's pretty good.
I might have to check that one out. Oh, you got Art of Manliness. I like that one.
Where's the other one I listened to? The Masonic Roundtable.
Oh, yeah, I have that one too. I've listened to that one a little bit. They got one Rocky Mountain Mason podcast.
Never heard of that
Which
one.
is just for Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brother Pete. Remember Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on there. When they were doing the research lodge, he posted the whole, when they were debating about whether to let women in the masonry or not. And he posted the whole debate.
Why were they debating that?
I think it was just a thought experiment.
Oh, okay.
So, one of those things where Pete got chosen to argue for it, and the other guy got chosen to argue against it, and then just see how well they do.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah, maybe we could do a joint venture. Do it at the lodge, get it set up there.
That'd be cool. With a bunch of the other brothers.
Yeah. I've got enough microphones. We could.
Yeah. John would do it.
Yeah.
And Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about it. That'd be fun to do.
I'd like to get more of the guys from Lodge doing some podcast. Well, too bad that giant painting of George Washington's on the stairwell.
Why? Oh.
That'd be a good background.
Background?
Yeah.
You could always do it in the library, the statue of George Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what
the library would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that painting on the other stairwell?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently that's like a super famous painting. And I can't remember who the artist is.
Hubble?
I think so. But apparently that painting is the original painting.
Yeah.
And it was thought to have been like destroyed or lost in a fire or something like that. And it was thought to be lost for like 50-something years.
Yeah.
And then the dude giving us the tour, he's from 101 Lodge, and he was telling me about it. And he's like, yeah, I called him up to get it appraised, and they were like, there's no way that you have that painting. Like, that painting's lost. And then they, like, came and looked at it and saw that it was the original. It was like, holy crap. And then it's, like, worth a shit ton of money.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's cool that it's just hanging there. Didn't even know. Like, apparently it was a gift from the artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means even more.
Yeah, and nobody knew that it was an original. And it's worth like over 6 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
And it's just fine there on the wall.
Yeah. Have you been to the Grand Lodge Museum?
No, I've never even been over there.
No, I went into like the secretary area, but I never got to go into the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard we had Ben Franklin's violin.
Yeah, I heard that
Or
too.
Thomas I've heard Ben Franklin and I've heard Thomas Jefferson. But I was like, Thomas Jefferson wasn't a Mason. And the guy that was, same guy who was talking about the painting, he was like, well, that's not technically true. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he was a fellowcraft. Him and Abraham Lincoln only made it to the fellowcraft degree. So because they didn't make it past fellowcraft and into Master Mason, they weren't considered Masons. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm like, yep.
I wonder why they stopped.
Well, I could probably guess why Lincoln stopped. You know?
Yeah.
Hole in the head to do that to you.
Yeah, he went forever sleep.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson, though, I don't know. He was a weird dude.
Probably got lost in his writing and never focused on it again.
He's too busy designing Monticello.
Another place I haven't been.
Monticello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been either.
I've been wanting to go to Washington, D.C. just to go to the cemetery.
The Arlington Cemetery?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Yeah, that'd be cool, too. I got a buddy that's buried out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they got a memorial for him at Fort Bragg, I think, at the main entrance.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Spakowski.
I want to go just because of the history, man. You know what you should do since you're a veteran? You should go to Boston and...
No.
Well, hear me out. So they have the USS Constitution there.
Yeah.
And because you're a veteran, you can do the flag raising on the ship. Because it's still an active ship.
Oh.
There's still active Navy that is stationed on that ship.
Okay.
And because it's the oldest ship we have that's still on
in service.
In service, yeah.
I bet that's a sweet gig.
Yeah. Yeah, my uncle went and visited, and because he was in the Air Force, and like the Navy guys that are stationed there, they kind of act as like historians and like give tour guides and shit like that. And they were like, the problem was that they were like, they didn't know their history correctly, so they were telling people like the wrong history. And my uncle's a big history buff, especially about like the USS Constitution.
Yeah.
And so they were talking, and he's like, "No, that's not even close to being true. Like, stop telling people that."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but you can partake in the flag raising. You can raise the flag in the morning.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. You can also do the USS Arizona in Hawaii. They change the flag. I think it's like twice a year that they change the flag down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And if you're a diver, you can dive down and change the flag.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they also do, if there's World War II veterans that die, and a couple of them that were stationed in Pearl Harbor have opted to be buried with their fellow seamen, and so they'll take their cremated remains down to the U.S. Arizona and entomb them in the Arizona with them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa, he was a World War II vet in the Pacific, and he was on 3 ships that were sank.
Oh shit, that's bad luck. Don't want to go sailing with him.
He hated thunderstorms and lightning and shit like that, because I think he got shanghaied a couple different times on an island, and it was just a nightmare.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That'd be bad. When we were in Hawaii, our photographer, she was from Honolulu, and she was talking about when she went to the USS Arizona.
Yeah.
She took her kid, who was like 3 or 4 or something like that, her little daughter. And so I guess it's a silent. You have to be like completely silent. You have to be just all silent. And I guess her kid, like all of a sudden started freaking out. Like, why is there so many sad people screaming and saying I'm trapped and to help us?
No shit.
Yeah, while they were at the memorial. So she's like, oh, I got so freaked out and we left.
Well, yeah.
Like that freaked me out too.
Yeah. I can't say I believe in ghosts, but some things you can't explain.
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts per se. Like, I don't think there's an old Victorian lady haunting a building or something.
Right.
But I think there's trapped energy for sure. And maybe that mirrors the person that it escaped from. I don't know. You know? Because if energy can't be created or destroyed when you die, if it's just transferred, what if it gets trapped? So maybe that energy is just trapped.
Science.
Science. Fucking science. I don't know. Yeah, let's do
Yep.
it.
So, I went to my favorite liquor store to buy a bottle of Lagavulin before they double in price. And the owner of the place sold me this bottle. It's the distiller's edition for the same price. And we tried it the other day.
It was pretty good.
I didn't have my full pellet. I was still kind of sick. But give me 1 second and I'll pour us a glass. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I didn't drink that much.
I don't know. We had a couple apiece, right?
2. Yeah. Nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's super smoky.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Too bad we don't have any cigars. We haven't smoked a cigar in a while.
I know.
We should find a place we can do a podcast where...
We can smoke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's many places that you can do that. You'd have to have your own place.
Yeah. I wonder if District 11 would let us film one in that back room.
See, I've still never been to District 11. I've seen it from the outside.
You never went there with us?
Mm-mm. We tried to go before Leon got deployed. We tried to go, but it was packed, and we couldn't get in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like super, super packed.
That was a Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tuesday.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was super packed. But I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a place Danette and I like to go.
She like whiskey?
No, she gets the fruity lady drinks, but the food's really good. They have a really good chef there.
Really?
Yeah.
The place seems small.
Well, they have the restaurant in front.
Oh.
And then when you walk through the restaurant, if you go all the way to the back, they have a vault door. And you open up that vault door, and it's like a speakeasy.
Oh, see, yeah, I've never even seen the inside. I saw it from the alley.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where they had the back all open and everything.
No, we have to go.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
There's that whiskey tasting this week. Wasn't it this weekend?
Was it this weekend?
I don't know. I think Pike's in.
I think it's next weekend.
Is it?
We're planning on going. I don't know if Danette got our tickets or not, though.
Mm.
But it's 2 blocks away. We can walk there.
Oh, shit. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Get shit-faced, walk home.
There you go. Crash on the couch.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Yeah, I'll crash on the couch. Yeah.
Yeah. Get somebody to watch Jameson, and
Yeah, we have a babysitter.
yeah, you and Eric could come and extend out.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit, we'd probably relax right now.
Or she doesn't really get that drunk. She's usually my designated driver.
Yeah.
Where's the button on the side? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we got a deal on this couch.
Yeah?
I think we paid $700 for it, and it was like an $1,800 couch.
Damn it.
Yeah, down at Furniture Row. They have a whole building that's their clearance.
Oh, yeah,
area.
I've seen that place.
Yeah. Right next to the Indian motorcycle.
Yeah. They got a big one in Denver. Like a huge store.
Who wants to go to Denver?
Not me, but
Nah.
I'm there every day, so.
Oh, for work?
Mm-hmm. Constantly up there. It's not so bad. I know all the back ways from Spring to Denver, so super, super nice drives.
Yeah.
Plus, I avoid all the traffic. Because there's always wrecks on 25. It's crazy. I'm pretty convinced that Colorado has the worst drivers in America.
Well, it attracts all the worst people in America.
That is true.
For some stupid reason. I don't understand why so many people keep coming here.
Because of the mountains. You can't have a beautiful state and then not expect people to want to move there. Yeah. Like when I was in Hawaii and my buddy was trying to convince me to stay. So we went over for a wedding, right? And his wife is native Hawaiian.
Right.
So she has family that lives in Hilo, which is on the eastern side of the island, which is like I liked that side of the island way better than we were staying in Kona.
Yeah.
And that's like the main area. But Hilo was way nicer. It was greener, rains more. But so her grandma died or hasn't died yet, but left her a house over there. And so they're moving over there.
Sure, why
and
not?
Yeah, and he took me surfing, and he was trying to convince me to move over. And I was like, man, I get it. This would be badass to live over here,
Yeah.
you know? So, I can completely understand why people go to visit and then end up moving. I mean, that's what we did in Colorado. That's why we're here. We came to visit on our anniversary.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, I want to live here. And a year later, moved here.
No, I was working as a wildland firefighter years ago. And I got a buddy from the Army that grew up here. That's why I stayed.
Yeah. It's a great place. It's just fucking expensive and
It
crowded.
didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Even like 5 years ago.
I had like a decent 2-bedroom apartment, and it was $600 a month.
Yeah.
That same apartment, I guarantee, is $1,500-$1,600 now.
Oh yeah. Our little townhouse is $1,650. And when we lived in Texas, we had a brand new house, 3-bedroom house with a garage and a yard.
Yeah.
We paid $1,400 a month for it. Brand new house. Nobody had ever lived in it before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And we were like 10 minutes from the water.
Yeah, I like Texas. I lived over in the Galleria for a while. I liked living there.
That place, I don't know. I'm indifferent about Houston.
I think it's a cool city.
It is a cool city. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. It's gotten a lot cooler since we left. Like the last couple of years. Yeah. They've just had a crap ton of new stuff come into the city. Like museums, and like every month I'm seeing new museum exhibits that are
Dude, it's
awesome.
worth going there for the food alone.
Yeah, the food's pretty good.
Food's amazing.
My favorite tacos in the United States are in Houston. At this little truck that's parked outside of a church, and you can't order if you don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And you get, it's not like Burger King, you know. You order tacos, and it comes meat, onions, cilantro, and that's it.
What else do you need?
Exactly. And then you can ask them to put cheese on it. Like I always had them put cheese on it. And then their salsa was fucking amazing.
So where I lived, there was a Rucci's right across the road. And at least once a week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week, I'd go there. And they make their flour tortillas fresh right there in the restaurant.
Hell yeah.
I'd get 2 lingua tacos, beans and rice, chips, all the regular stuff. But then I'd get tres leches for dessert, and the girls there would always make it special for me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they'd actually like get condensed cream milk and like soak one layer of it, then they'd get regular milk and soak another layer of it. It was so good.
That sounds amazing.
And the micheladas were fucking awesome.
Yeah. See, I'm picky on my Mexican food, and my wife always makes fun of me for it. But I grew up in southern New Mexico, super close to the border. Like, we have real Mexican food, you know?
Right.
And so when you grow up on that, and you go outside, like anywhere else in the United States, and they're like, oh, this is good Mexican food. It's like, no. This is not. Like, this is terrible. And so I never want to go, unless I'm home. When I'm home, I go to Mexican restaurants all the time. But if I'm not home, I don't. You know, like even in Houston, the taco truck I'd go to the taco truck.
Yeah.
And like my in-laws want to go to fucking Tex-Mex all the time. And I hate Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Like Gringo's restaurant. They love Gringo's. And they also think Chili's is Mexican.
Serious?
I think so.
There's nothing Mexican about Chili's.
Yeah, they think it's like Tex-Mex.
That sounds almost as bad as Michigan. Like, my uncle, I was up there visiting my uncle. He's like, hey, let's go to the Mexican restaurant. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down, yeah.
Showed up there to start ordering food. And I'm like, this isn't a Mexican restaurant.
No.
They had chimichangas. About as close as they came.
I'm even picky on taco trucks. Like, if it's men working in a taco truck, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
If it's women working there, then yes.
You want mothers making your food. Mexican food.
Absolutely. I want the grandma
Yeah.
that doesn't speak a word of English
Yep.
making my food. Absolutely. That's how you know it's going to be good.
When I was stationed in Germany, there was a Mexican restaurant. And there's a family that moved over there from Mexico, and one of our buddies in our platoon actually married the daughter of the family that owned the restaurant. So they'd be closed on Sundays, but family and friends would come, and Grandma would cook.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they made tamales. And it was the best ones I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I'm sure. In Germany, imagine that.
I don't think it's tamale. I think it's tamal. I think it's tamal.
I don't know.
That's just Americanized
Probably.
way to say it is tamale.
Probably. I'm starting to learn Spanish again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on. Because I used to be pretty good at Spanish just because of
Where you lived?
Yeah, where I lived and working and stuff. But I lost it because I stopped using it. And language is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you'll lose it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's like me in German.
Yeah.
Like when I was in the Army, if I wasn't on duty, I was not on post.
Yeah, you were out.
All my friends, my whole social scene was all German.
Yeah, why would you stay on base? You're in Germany.
Dude, there's some guys who hated being there. Like, I want to go back to the States. It's like, it's really not that much different than where you come from.
Yeah. Like,
slight cultural differences.
I don't understand people that don't want to travel and experience different cultures. Like, that broadens your horizons so much, you know? I think if more Americans traveled, they would be a lot less assholes.
Maybe.
You know? and they would have a lot less to complain about, for sure.
Yeah.
You know? Because you got these people that are complaining. They're oppressed and all this other bullshit.
That's the most silly thing I've ever heard.
And they've never been out of their country, you know? Like, they're complaining that they're oppressed over here while there's actual slavery going on in, like, Africa.
Right.
And shit. Like, real slavery. There's more people enslaved nowadays than there was
400 years ago.
Yeah. Than there was during the Civil War.
Why aren't they standing up for them?
Because they don't give a fuck.
Why aren't they going to those countries and protesting?
Because they don't want to go to those countries. They don't want to live there, you know? The amount of complaining and what they're complaining about, it's such a first world problem, you know? And there was...
Yeah.
Somebody talked about it. I can't remember his name, but he talked about when your level of comfort gets so high, you know, you don't have to worry about clean water. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about
shelter.
What is there to complain about? You get so soft that every little thing you're going to complain about because it's inconvenient. And that's what's going on, you know?
Yeah, I work security at a clinic. And some of the people that come in there, they just complain about everything. Like, oh, I'm being triggered.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't speak to me that way, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, your energy is off. It's ruining my vibe.
And I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Be like, just go off somewhere and die.
Yeah.
If life is so hard here, can't imagine what it's going to be like when it gets tough.
Oh, they wouldn't survive. Yeah.
And I'm not going to help them.
Yeah, they wouldn't survive. The moment they lose their air conditioning, they're going to... Is that a dog?
That sound like a dog.
Yeah, the moment they lose their air conditioning, they're going to have a meltdown.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Dude, I slept outside in a rack for months without a shower, no way to take a shower,
Yep.
you know, swarmed by mosquitoes nightly, carrying 80, 100 pounds of gear on me through August where it was 138 degrees
Yep.
every day for a week straight.
Yep. Where I grew up in northern Arizona, my grandparents have a ranch and property out there. And we used to go there because we lived in Arizona before we moved to New Mexico. And that was the middle of nowhere, man. Like, the closest town was an hour away. And you had...
Sounds nice.
That town had 0 stoplights. And it had a general store where my grandpa used to work part-time as a butcher. And it had a gas station and a Dairy Queen. That's it. And then
It had a Dairy Queen?
Yeah, it had a Dairy Queen inside the gas station.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it had a Mexican restaurant that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
A diner, and then the general store. And that was it. And then the closest Walmart was like 2 hours away in Snowflake, Arizona. And so they had no electricity, they had a well and solar power. That's it. And when we were kids, we were helping them rebuild the house and stuff. So you didn't have any running water or nothing. So we would spend summers there. You'd go months without taking a shower, man. Because you would have to fill up a bag. That was your shower. You know, poke holes in it, and that was your shower. And if you wanted hot water, you had to sit it in the sun all day. If you wanted hot water at night. Me and my cousin, I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 at the time. I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit. And then we literally didn't even have a place to sleep. We had a tent underneath a tree. And we would just sleep there. It was best thing ever. Dude, I loved it. Complete freedom. Then we'd just disappear. We'd go hunt rabbits or whatever.
Yeah.
Cook them up. We'd disappear.
Yeah, my grandparents' farmhouse back when I was a kid didn't have running water. There was a pipe out in the ground outside, and it was an artesian well, which was cool. You just had to open it up, and the water would come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every Sunday you'd come home, there'd be a dead animal laying on the kitchen floor.
Yep.
Getting ready to be prepared.
There you go. Yeah, it was awesome. No TV. They had a TV, and they could get the news. Yeah. And my grandpa, that's the only time the TV would come on. My grandpa would watch the news because he was a big baseball fan, so he would want to know how the Diamondbacks were doing that day. And then once the news was over, that's it.
You shut it off.
He shuts it off, yeah, because they were both, like, avid readers, probably where I get my reading from. And so you're sitting there playing cards or reading a book.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night, you know?
Yeah, we played a lot of Uno there.
Yeah. And then we had those kerosene lanterns, those lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have actual lights because you're not going to waste electricity. It's solar.
Oh,
you know? We want to keep the power for the fridge.
Right.
So you use a kerosene lantern.
Yeah, we had power and a TV, which had just the basic local channels that it would pick up.
Yeah.
But they had a Nintendo.
Oh, there you go.
My uncle, he bought a Nintendo and kept in there. But most of the time we were outside.
Yeah, that's how we were too. Outside.
Doing dangerous shit.
Yeah, unsupervised shit that you should probably definitely be supervised for.
Yeah, my uncle taught me how to take a back saw and take an old bike handle that had like the rubber grips on it, and you would just saw it off right there, right at the end of the grip, and it always had the hole in for water to drain out. We'd take rubber balls and like push down in there, and then stick firecrackers through the little hole, and just
Oh, you could shoot them.
yeah, they'd fly forever.
Hell yeah, it's awesome.
And go fishing.
Yep.
We're right on the river.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of water out there. We didn't go fishing. It was like high desert, but
Well, before they built the dam, every time the river would flood, it'd flood all the fields, and there'd be pools where catfish would get stuck in. And
there you go.
We'd go out there and grab them with our hands.
There you go. See, I'm not a fan of catfish. I kind of hate catfish. Like I'll never go out of my way to order catfish at like a restaurant.
It's got to be cooked right.
I don't know.
For me, the best way is to not even worry about fillets or nothing. Just cut it up into like nugget shapes.
Oh, see, I might like it like that.
And then bread it with like good breading and deep fry it.
Yeah, see, like how they do it down in Louisiana. You just fry the whole fillet.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
No.
I'm not a fan.
I'd rather eat bass.
Oh, for sure.
Bass is delicious.
Or trout. I'd rather eat trout than catfish. I'd rather eat anything than catfish.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm starving, I'll eat catfish. But even if I'm like 3 days away from starving, I'll still be like, oh, well, I'll wait to eat catfish until I'm actually starving.
Yeah. My brother and I, Tim, we'd go to this town called Williams, and it's Williams Dam is right there in the town. Population of
Where's this at?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Population of around 80. And every month the whole community gets together and does something.
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
it's through the summertime, it's almost always fish fry. Because people will fly there from all over to go fishing there at the White River in that area. And you go to the bait shop, they got a big open pond, concrete pond. And if you get a big fish or something like that, you bring it there, throw it in a little pond, show off to people. Then once a month, they had big fish fry. They cooked it right.
Literally nothing else to do. Watch this big-ass fish in this concrete pond.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And buy fireworks.
Yep.
They sold
shit.
fireworks all year round.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I had I got some family that has a farm up in Ohio near Hamilton, and they grow wheat and soybeans, I think. And I used to have to go help them bale hay during the summer.
Yeah.
Still, like, some of the hardest work I've ever done was baling hay in Ohio summer.
They don't grow corn?
Mm-mm. Everybody fucking grows corn.
Well, yeah, but usually you alternate. You'll grow corn one year, then you'll grow soybeans the next.
Mm-mm.
And then over the wintertime is when you'll grow the wheat.
Yeah.
And you'll just knock it over and...
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but all I know is that I would show up in the summertime and bale hay.
Bale hay.
Yeah. I showed up, I was working in Indianapolis, and Hamilton, Ohio is like maybe 2 hours east of there.
Yeah.
And so I was working there. My grandparents came in for like a little, just to see family. And so I drove 2 hours to go see them. And we went and visited the farm. I hadn't been there in like 5 years. And they were like, "Oh, perfect timing. You're here to work." It's like, "No. I'm here on vacation."
Right.
Like, they're like, "No, but you can help out, right?" And I'm like, I guess so. They're like, "Yeah, you're already here. We'll put you to work."
Yeah. My first job when I was a kid, I grew up in southern Indiana, like right on the river, Ohio. And my first job was working at a tobacco farm when I was 10.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And that's how I got addicted to
Tobacco.
Because you when you strip the stalks to separate and grade it, you do it with your hands.
Bare hands.
And at the end of the day,
It's just like soaked into your.
yeah, tar,
Oh shit.
nicotine tar, right from the plant. Just, you know.
Hmm.
And the old timers there thought it was hilarious. They'd go grab a red leaf and be like, "Here, put that in your mouth and chew on it." Be like, "Oh, I was 10 years old, of course." So I was like,
of
"Oh
course.
yeah, I'll do that."
Yeah.
But I grew to like it.
When I would help them bale hay, you know, your the baler is pulled by a tractor, and then they got another wagon pulled by the baler.
Right.
And you're just, as the bales are coming up, you're just stacking them on the wagon. And my cousin Bud, they called him Bud, and he'd have a cooler there. I was young. I can't remember how old I was. Maybe like 13. And I was just dying in this heat. And I go to this cooler thinking it's going to be full of water. It's just full of beer. That dude drank, that's all he drank was beer. I've never seen him drink a water, nothing else. And he did combine derbies. So, you know, like a demolition derby, but with a combine.
What the hell?
Yeah. So instead of like, you know, like over here in the West, we have like rodeos and shit at our county fairs and stuff.
Yeah.
No, they would do truck pulls and combine derbies. And so he did truck pulls and he did combine derbies. And it's the coolest shit ever.
Well, we'd have that, but I've never used a combine.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
We use school buses.
School buses?
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine the combine with those big ass, you know, things on the front.
Yeah.
Just smashing into each other. Yep. It was awesome.
That sounds like a huge waste of money.
Oh, for sure. Like, it makes no sense, but it's awesome. And they just get, because, like, they can just take damage.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a little car that you get hit really good one time and it's like, oh, fuck. So they just get the shit beat out of them. It's great.
That's what I miss about home this time of year. October's my favorite month.
Really?
Of the whole year.
You like the pumpkin spice?
Fuck pumpkin spice. That shit's gross. Everything pumpkin spice is gross.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But, no, we have the Fall Foliage Festival, stuff like that.
Like the fall harvest festivals and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
You know, the leaves are changing. They're starting to decay. There's smell in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that's one thing I like about Colorado is that you get the 4 seasons, you know, and you can see
No,
it.
you don't.
Yeah, you do. You get
No.
fall, you get spring, like you can see shit starting to
You
come
get
back.
summer and winter.
Nah, I disagree. You get fall. We're in fall right now. You get all the leaves start to change. Like you can see fall.
What, the aspens?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, what else is there to?
Everything else is evergreens.
Yeah. So they're gonna stay green all year round.
I mean, there's elm trees here in the city,
Yeah.
but still.
You definitely get. I mean, compared to like Texas, like down South Texas, you don't get seasons down there.
No.
You know, and I was
It
arguing.
gets cooler.
Yeah, I was
That's
arguing
it.
with my mother-in-law about that one day. Because I was like, oh, yeah, I like that we get seasons down here. You know, you can see the change. Like, there's a brief period between summer and winter where it starts to change. And then a brief period between winter and summer that you get that everything's coming back to life. You know, all the grass starts turning green again. So you get that breakup and you get that seasons. And she's like, well, we have that down in Houston. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
I'm like, you have summer, less summer, like barely summer, and then starting to get summer, and then summer is fuck.
Yeah.
And then August.
The only
you get,
real season they have there is the monsoon season.
yeah, I was about to say hurricane season. That's the only. You have summer and hurricane season.
I do hate in the spring when I forgot what kind of trees they are, but they start pollinating, and you get that tree pollen everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything's a shade of light lime green.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and then people with allergies are freaking the hell out. Can't operate. I don't have any allergies, so I can't relate.
Because we went outside and did shit when we grew up.
Yeah, there's not a my in-laws, they're like allergic to everything. And like I'm allergic to nothing. There's not a I did find it was curious. So I did find one thing that I'm allergic to. And it's very weird. So Maker's Mark whiskey. I'm allergic to some of the staves that they use.
Really?
Yeah, and it's weird. So I found out, me and my wife were out, and I was having old fashions made with Maker's Mark, and all of a sudden I got this huge rash, like all over my skin. And I just came back from working at a chemical plant in Louisiana, so that's what I thought it was. And then a couple months later, I had some more old fashions with Maker's Mark. The same thing happened. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all right, so maybe it's Maker's Mark. But sometimes I'll get a bottle of Maker's Mark and I won't have that reaction. But sometimes if I have a wine that is aged in bourbon barrels, then sometimes I'll have a reaction. And I found out that that winemaker gets their barrels from Maker's Mark. And so it's the barrels, the staves that they use, and they don't use the same ones every time. So sometimes for these bottles they'll use this one and different ones. And whatever that stave is, I haven't been able to track it down past that. But for some reason, whatever staves they're using makes me have a reaction. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a buzz.
A little bit.
We should just keep going, man. You can crash here on the couch. I fell asleep on it. It's comfortable.
There we go. Yeah, so that's the only thing in the world I found I'm allergic to, which is so random and weird.
Yeah, that is pretty random.
It's super fucking random. And no other whiskey that I've had, and no other wine or anything like that, has made me have a rash. And it's like all over my neck and shit. It's weird.
Yeah.
Never happened with Scotch. Just Makers.
Oh, don't drink it, or drink more of it.
It's super good though. So
yeah, I know.
I like it. I love my old fashions with Makers. So I still risk it. I just need to call them and be like, look, what's in your, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can, find out exactly what's causing the problem.
So, normally the only whiskey I like to drink is Islay Scotch.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. But I did have some Johnny Walker Red Label. And it was all right.
Yeah. Johnny Walker's all right. I mean, it's a blended Scotch, but it's pretty good, I had a bartender one time try to argue with me that I'm no expert on Scotch or whiskey, but I'm sure I know more than the average Joe.
Right.
But I had a bartender who claimed to be an expert just because she was a bartender.
Oh.
And that made her an expert.
Yeah.
And she tried to argue with me that Crown was a Scotch.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And I was like, that's not how that works.
She's made in Canada.
Yeah. She's exactly. I was like, it's made in Canada. I was like, to be a Scotch, you have to be, by definition, made in Scotland. And she said, it's a blended Scotch whiskey. And I was like, that's not how that works. Like, it's not a Scotch. And she's like, I'm a bartender. I think I would know. And I'm like, well, obviously you fucking don't. Like, you're a bartender. Doesn't mean you know anything.
Yeah. Bar life is weird, man.
Bartenders are weird.
When I lived in Florida, I worked as a bar back at a lot of different cool bars. And it's a lifestyle all of its own.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've always thought I would make a good bartender, just sitting there, you know, having a rag, cleaning a glass, listening to people's problems. It'd have to be like a slow bar, you know, where like just the old timers come in.
Yeah.
You know, not like where that bar, like you're going to get packed and you have to just be running all over the place constantly. I couldn't do that. But I don't know what it is about bartenders that you go up to the bar and if you're alone, you just want to like start telling all your problems to a bartender. I've done that.
Yeah.
Just sit there and talk to him.
I kind of have the same thing going on.
Yeah.
Not so much in the last few years as what it used to be, but I mean, I keep to myself most of the time now,
Yeah.
but especially when I lived in Florida,
Yeah.
I'd be sitting at a bus stop. Random stranger just would walk up, sit down.
They just force dump you.
Yep. I got some kind of aura or face that people just seem to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the way I approach people. Everybody seems nervous. I mean, you know, my tattoos and shit.
Yeah.
Everybody gets nervous, and I can tell when people seem to be a little uneasy around me.
Sure.
I'll make it a point to start like a simple conversation with them. And then just like that, they're just opening up.
Yeah.
Telling me everything.
Yeah.
But I keep quiet. I just listen, and
maybe that's why.
That's probably why.
Yeah, because you're just listening.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of rare to find people just want somebody to, you know, to vent to and just to listen, not to, you know,
not to judge or give advice or do anything.
To give solutions. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, a lot of people don't want solutions. They just want to vent. Like, just listen to my shitty day. Like, don't tell me it's my fault. I need to fix it and how to fix it. I just want to be heard.
We got to teach people to talk to God. He's the best person to tell everything to.
That's true, because he doesn't give you solutions.
He gives you opportunity.
Well, it's what's the saying, right? God helps those who help themselves.
Right.
You know, you can't. And I've never understood that people, you know, they'll pray for God to do something, right? And it's like, why would he? You're not going to help if you're not going to help yourself and work towards it. Why would he help you? He's not going to do the hard lifting for you.
See, that's one thing for me is when I pray, I never ask for anything.
Yeah, they just ask. Some people that just ask for stuff.
And to me, prayer is just to give thanks for what you have already.
Yeah.
Show appreciation.
Yeah, instead of asking for, you know, make this hard time go away, how about you ask for help with the strength to make it through the hard time? How about that?
Yeah.
You know? That's way better.
Give me the strength to come up with the solution.
Yeah. Like,
give me the strength to endure until this has passed.
Give me the foresight to see the opportunities that are coming my way. You know? Because if you start looking at everything from, instead of an obstacle, instead of looking at stuff like an obstacle, look at it as an opportunity instead. You know? There's a book called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And I love Ryan Holiday. If you haven't read any of his stuff, you should read it.
I haven't. Do you have any?
I do. I'll give you two of his books. The Obstacle is the Way and Discipline is Destiny.
Okay.
He also has another book called How to Think Like a Roman Empire, and it's mainly about Marcus Aurelius. And all his books, fantastic.
What do you think of Meacham's book I gave you?
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't started working on it yet. That's the Soul of the Empire, right? Or
The Soul of America.
Soul of America, yeah. Yeah, I haven't.
The search for our better angels.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I haven't cracked it open yet.
So, this would be a good segue. We can start talking about the Holy Bible.
Can I go pee first?
Yeah, we can take a break.
Yeah.
No problem.
Take a pee break real quick. I just gotta pee.
Yeah, once you start talking, man, it
Kind of just flows, huh?
yeah.
All right, what were we talking about?
The Holy Bible.
Holy Bible.
So, this is the Bible that was given to me when I became a Master Mason. And there's a whole lot more information in this Bible than your standard King James.
Oh, for sure.
I'll let you take a look at that.
Yeah, I like that it points out like what verses and what points are, that pertain to Masonry, which is nice.
What are you looking at right there?
The Biblical Index to Freemasonry. So this is just talking about different words and their meanings, basically. Like Asher, atheism, babbler, senseless talker. Freemasonry recognized the unprofitables of vague and senseless talk and forbids babbling in and out of lodge. So it means, like, basically don't talk out of your ass.
Yeah. Which I have to say isn't something that's followed.
No, definitely not.
Maybe next time we have a stated meeting, we can make a lesson out of that.
Don't babble. Yeah.
Look at the Tower of Babel. It fell.
That's right. Yeah.
I wonder if that's where it came from.
Probably. Yeah.
Because that's where God decided to...
That the tower was getting too high. And they were trying to reach heaven, even though the tower was only like 50 feet. So they created a bunch of different languages so people can't work together.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody should speak multiple languages. I mean, I
wish it was easier.
Well, it's easier, I don't know why Americans are so against speaking another language. Even in United States, we speak English. But what's wrong with learning Spanish?
Yeah.
Like, well, I shouldn't have to speak it while I'm here. It's like, why?
Why not?
We're,
yeah.
like, it's such a contradiction, right? We're a country that welcomes all cultures and everybody. We have open arms to everybody. Why would we be a one language place? If anything, we should lead the world in speaking the most languages because we welcome everybody.
I mean, it was kind of expected more of immigrants in the past that they
conform to the United States. Right. But that's only been like the last 40, 50 years. Because you look past that, and at least maybe in the 1% and the wealthy, but everybody spoke multiple languages. Mm-hmm. You know, you were taught that at a young age. I mean, look at Theodore Roosevelt. His family spoke, they spoke German at the dinner table, and then they spoke another language at a different time. So at the dinner table, they were only allowed to speak that language.
Yeah, but at that time, 80% of the population of more than that. Almost 90% of the population of the country at that time were German.
That is true. Yeah.
But even now, the largest demographic of the population is still German.
Yeah. I think it matters like where you're at, right? Like in the Southwest, you should know Spanish.
Yeah.
You should just know it. It'll help you a lot more. It'll just be easier to communicate, you know? Because you might not like it, but that's the reality you live in.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll be beneficial.
Well,
I think
they spoke Spanish there 500 years before
exactly
anyone that spoke English got there.
Exactly. Spanish is always going to be a majority of the language spoken here in this area. Might as well get used to it and just speak it, you know? I mean, I want to teach my son as he's learning English. I'm trying to teach him Spanish as well.
Yeah.
Because it'll be easier for
Get
him
Baby
to learn.
Genius.
Yeah. I'm just going to have him watch Dora.
Yeah. That's a good start.
Yeah. She taught me Spanish.
Really?
Yeah. I would listen. I would watch some of her shit.
That was past my time.
Yeah. Sayoma. Cody, what's your name? Yeah. I speak more Spanish than I realize. I understand a lot more.
It's the same with me in German.
Yeah.
I understand a lot more than I can speak.
Yeah.
That I can put it. It didn't used to be that way, but it's been. Well, let's see. When did I leave Germany? 2005. So it's been 18 years since it was common for me to speak German. So if I hear it, I can make out what people are saying. But if I tried to make a conversation, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started learning Norwegian just because I wanted to read books in Norwegian in their original text. And I found that Norwegian's if you're a native English speaker, that Norwegian is the easiest language for you to learn. And if you can learn Norwegian, that's like the root of a lot of the Germanic languages, like German.
Swedish would probably be the
and
next.
Finnish and Danish. So
Yeah.
if you can speak Norwegian, you can understand like 3 other languages.
Have you ever wondered what English sounds like if you didn't speak it?
I heard a song. It was an Italian composer. And at the time, English songs were very popular. And so he made an Italian song that sounds like English, but it's not English. So it's hard to explain, but the song sounds like what non-English. The song sounds like what non-English speakers hear.
Right.
And it's very weird to hear the song as an English speaker.
You'll have to show me that.
Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you, but it's really weird. Because he's not speaking English, but it kind of almost sounds like English. But he did it to prove a point that Italians will listen to gibberish just because it sounds like English. And the song became super, super popular. But he's not speaking any words. It's just gibberish. But it sounds like English enough that they loved the song.
You remember that song that came out years ago? What Does the Fox Say?
Oh, yeah.
My old business partner was one of the guys who wrote that song.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. If I ever told you about Anders? He's Swedish, and he was part of the crew that was writing music for, like, it was a comedy skit show. And that's where it came from, and it just got popular everywhere.
Such a dumb song.
Yeah. You want to know something even crazier? He is a mechanical and architectural engineer.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he was the lead engineer for Chevron.
Oh, shit. And now he has a popular song out.
But back in, I think it was the 70s, when he was a teenager, like 14, he used to win contests for playing music. Like an amazing jazz guitarist.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's out in Florida right now.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never would have thought a song, What Does the Fox Say, would be popular.
It was for a comedy show.
I know, but it just blew up.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Man, we should call Anders.
Call him.
Yeah.
See what he has to say. Interview him.
Yeah.
Why did you write that? Like,
I'm going to call him.
why did you know at the time that you were creating a monster? And why don't you know what a fox says? Like, I'm curious about that. Like, were they just unable to find the sound that a fox makes? Because it's like a bark. It's like a dog.
Let's see if we can make this happen.
I would love to know what their thought process was. I would actually love to know.
I hope this works. Let's bring volume up. We're about to mess with a bunch of people. Watch this. Hey Siri, call Anders.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Anders E. Mobile.
I don't know if a lot of people have.
Yes.
I don't know if a lot
Calling
of people
Anders
have
E. Mobile.
an Anders in their phone. So.
Yeah,
will
but
probably
just
be like,
saying, hey Siri.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He doesn't always answer.
No.
I think it's 9:30 his time. He may be in bed.
9:30? Yeah, I'd be in bed.
He's older.
Your call did not go through. Please try your call again.
What?
098P.
Call didn't go through.
What? All right, let's try another way. No. What the hell? Now I'm kind of worried. Do you hear a train?
I did just hear a train, yeah.
Your call did not go through. Please try your call again.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, now I'm worried. He recently had a stroke.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So now I'm going to be worried until I get hold of him.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun, having a stroke.
No.
Like, I think I'd rather just die.
I mean, last time I talked to him, he was doing all right.
Yeah, but I guess it just depends on the severity of the stroke, right? Like, those strokes where you have to, like, relearn how to walk and talk and stuff, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But if it's not so bad to where you have to go through all that,
Right.
you know, I don't know.
I don't know. We've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
We first met here in Colorado.
Oh, really?
I was working at Guitar Center.
Guitar Center.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's like a piece of music that's like forbidden in Guitar Center. That if people come up and try to play it on the guitar, they like immediately get kicked out.
Sweet child of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that it? Why?
Because everyone plays it wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the old joke, Led Zeppelin song. What is it? Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, Stairway to Heaven. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a few songs like that are kind of taboo.
I can play Smoke on the Water, that's it.
That's one of the first songs I ever learned.
That's the first and only song I learned. That was like that's like the first song everybody learns, and I never excelled past that. I was like, yeah, that's good enough. Now I can
That's
say
it. I'm a guitar player.
Yep, I can
Don't
play
need to do
guitar.
nothing else.
Yep.
I wish I still played guitar like I used to.
Yeah,
I just don't have the motivation that I did when I was younger.
my uncle is a really good guitar player. He's also a biology professor at San Jac University in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's hilarious, and you would never think that he was a professor, but he is.
That's good.
Yeah.
Probably got a class that is worth sitting through.
Yeah, I never sat in on one of his classes. I should have, but he's an awesome teacher. I would have conversations with him, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I should have sat in one of his classes, but because he was like one of the prerequisites for like nurses. So nurses would have to sit through his class because he taught biology. So they would have to know some sort of biology.
Right.
So he'd talk about how he just constantly had young, hot-ass girls sitting in his classes.
I took a nursing class when I was in high school. Same situation.
Yeah. One of the only males.
Yep. There was 3 of us out of a class of like 30.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
3 males out of a class of 30. Damn.
What verse were you looking at?
I was looking at the beginning of Old Testament because my mother-in-law told me that the Masonic Bible is different than the normal Bible, you know? Because
Okay.
we're evil.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, just read the first 3 lines of the Masonic Bible. You'll see that there's evil.
And it's exactly the same.
Exactly the same as in the beginning God created heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Okay.
Yeah, very evil. Very
Yeah.
evil. You know? You know, one thing I don't understand about religion is, so you have like modern Christians and how you'll quote something out of the Bible that's not very good. Right? because there's some bad stuff in the Bible for sure. And
What do you mean?
well, like certain things in the Bible that people don't follow nowadays, right?
Or maybe not translated very well.
Right. But the difference between Old Testament and New Testament, like you have new Christian, or you have Christian, modern day Christians, they only follow the New Testament, right? And they won't, like almost won't even acknowledge the Old Testament. And every time you say something, they'll be like, well, that was the Old Testament. You know?
That's silly logic.
Yeah, like, so my mother-in-law is constantly trying to preach to me and all this stuff. And after Jameson's birthday party, we went back to my house and we had like a big, like, huge debate about everything because she was telling me how masonry was evil and all this stuff. And I was like, how? Like, tell me how it's evil. And she would just quote a bunch of stuff from people that she's heard, you know? And I'm like, well, it's not true. And she's like, well, I can't believe it. And I'm like, what? I'm telling you facts that that's not true because I'm a first-hand witness to that, right? Mm-hmm. But you refuse to believe that, and you would rather believe hearsay from somebody that you heard, from something that you heard or read, instead of listening to a first-hand account.
Right.
Yeah. And so she was like, well, what I know is a fact. I'm like, not what you know is not a fact. It's an opinion because you don't have first-hand knowledge of it. You have hearsay. What I am telling you is a fact because I have first-hand experience. And she just couldn't comprehend that. She's like, that doesn't make any sense.
There's all kinds of weird ideas of what Freemasonry is.
Yeah, and in truth, it's probably a lot more boring than what people think.
Way more boring than people's imaginations have led them to think.
Yeah, like she thinks that we run the child sex trafficking ring.
That's 180 degrees wrong.
Yeah. See, I have kind of a theory about it. So, you know, Freemasonry gets a lot of heat.
Yeah.
But Freemasonry is all about, like, especially protecting children and all that.
Absolutely.
And so what I think is going on is because we're a group that is solely trying to protect children and stop trafficking, and we constantly donate, like Shriners are constantly donating to children's hospitals. We have our own hospitals. Right. So I think that because we're constantly trying to fight that battle, the powers that be have portrayed us as being the ones that we're causing the problems because we can't speak out about our meetings, right? So because we're kind of handcuffed, right? Because you have a group that's trying to fight human trafficking and child trafficking and trying to protect children, right? But you have a group that same group can't talk about what's going on at their meetings and their secrets and stuff like that. So you can claim all sorts of stuff, right? You can be like, oh, well, they're evil. They're sacrificing children. They're the problem. And all we can do is say, well, no, that's not what we're doing. And they can go, well, prove it. And you go, well,
there are people doing those things.
Yeah, we kind of...
It's not Freemasons.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
It's Satanist.
Yeah. I saw a post about Ashton Kutcher because he was wearing a square and compass hat.
Yeah.
And apparently he's a member of a lodge in Iowa.
Good.
And he's like a big deal in Hollywood trying to fight human trafficking and child trafficking. Yep. And they're turning it around on him like, oh, he's actually a pedophile and all this shit.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
No. You know, just because he had the square and compass on him. And so because he can't speak out and say what's actually going on in Masonry,
Right.
you know, you can't properly defend yourself if you're kind of handcuffed behind the back, right? Because,
Yeah.
like with my mother-in-law, right, she was like, I can tell you exactly what, like, your oaths and all that say. And she was telling me, and I was like, no, that's wrong. And she's like, well, what do they say? And it's like, well, I obviously can't tell you that.
Right.
And she's like, exactly, so I was right. And I was like, no,
No.
that's not how that works. I'm telling you that you're wrong. And she's like, yeah, but you can't tell me what it says, so I must be right. I'm like, no, but I'm telling you you're wrong. And she's like, yeah, but you still can't tell me what's actually said.
Yeah.
So
No.
you're kind of like,
And
well,
you'll never know.
yeah. She asked that. She's like, well, why can't I know? And I was like, well, because you're a woman, for one. I was like, and then my father-in-law, who's a fantastic person. I love my father-in-law. But,
Yeah, I like him a lot.
yeah, he's fantastic. I think he's a saint. And I think he is the embodiment of what Christianity is supposed to be. Because he's such a nice person. And he does everything selflessly. You know, he's not a selfish person. He just wants to help people.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I was telling him, and he's like, well, why can't I know? And I was like, well, you have to be found worthy to know the information. And he's like, so I'm not worthy. And I'm like, I personally think you are. Yes, 100%. You would make a fantastic Mason. But you just have to go down that path and find out for yourself. I have
Yeah.
It's not, and
We don't recruit people.
no, right. Exactly. That's why we're not a religion.
How do you become a Freemason?
You have to ask one to be one.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, why can't you just tell me everything so I can decide for myself? And I was like, it's not my information to give. You know? That's how I see it. It's not my...
How does Christianity work? Blind faith.
Yep. And it's just not my information to give. It doesn't belong to me. You know? I had to earn it. So should everybody else.
Yeah.
You know?
If you want to be a Freemason, ask one.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Nobody's going to track you down. Nobody's going to beg you.
Nope.
It's something you have to want.
Yeah. And, you know, the motto, making good men better. We don't want to make bad men. You can't make bad men better, right? So you want good people that want to be better than what they are. So.
And we need more good men in this world right now.
Yeah, because Freemasonry is dying.
It's not even just that. It's society in general.
Well, the whole premise is, right, you make yourself better. You become the best version of yourself.
Be an example for everyone else.
Example, right. Which is why we don't recruit. You should be the example. People should want to know how you became who you are. You know?
Yep.
Leon is a perfect example of that. You know? He's brought in a bunch of entered apprentices. And they have said, like, well, I see Leon and I see how great of a person he is, and I want to know what has made him that, you know? Why is he so great? Why is he such a good person?
You're not going to find a better guy than
Leon,
him.
no.
Yeah.
No. He's probably the greatest guy I know. I love Leon so much.
Dedicated, motivated.
Yeah. And dedicated to his community. He's a fantastic person. He could be, if we were to recruit, Leon would be the poster child. 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, you should be the example. You know, that's the difference between Freemasonry and religion. Religion wants to recruit everybody.
Right.
Get as many people as it can, and we don't. we only want the good people. We want to lead by example.
Right.
You know, if you're a good person and you're following your Masonic lessons and your Masonic tenets, then you should be attracting good people. And people should be looking at you and going, oh, you're a fantastic person. How do I become better like you? Well, funny you should ask.
If you come to us and you are not accepted, you need to take a serious, deep look at yourself.
Sure. Yep.
And you need to fix that before you come back to us.
Yeah. And I think that Masonry will reveal itself when you're
ready.
When you're ready, for sure.
Yeah.
You know? Because I knew about Masonry for a while. My grandfather was 32nd degree Mason, but he never talked about it. And never meant anything to me until I was ready. And then I started seeing it everywhere. And I was like, oh, okay, I should probably look more into this.
I remember when I was a boy, I was going through some things that I found my great-grandfather's ritual book. And I was just flipping through. I was like, I can't read any of this.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does this say? My grandpa looked at me. He's like, you want to learn what that says? I'm like, yeah, I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And he took me to DMLA.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and I went to a couple of the meetings with him, and it seemed weird to me. I had no idea.
What is DMLA like as a child compared to...
I went to 2 gatherings, and it was a lot of fathers and sons.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Which doesn't seem to be a priority these days.
No, it's not. There's no rite of passage for young men.
Yeah.
You know, I read this book. I saw him on the Art of Manliness, and the book is called The Intentional Father, and he talks about how that's a problem with society, that young men don't have a rite of passage to acknowledge that they're turning into men. And so he wrote a book about it, and he set up rites of passages for his son to go through. And he specifically talked about when the child is about 12 or 13, the mom needs to start pushing the child to the dad.
Yeah.
And the dad's going to kind of be a dick to the kid.
Yep.
But he has to be. Not because he enjoys it, but because he has to turn that boy into a man. So, and the kid will go running back to mom, but the mom has to be strong and push the child away. Which
the overbearing mother destroys manhood.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, it's... All right, I'm going to get into it.
Let's get into it.
I sit there at this clinic, and you would not believe the amount of grown men, older boys, in their 20s, 30 years old, that show up to a medical clinic with their mother.
Yeah, they can't do anything by themselves.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. That's why I have a wife, though. She handles all that. I just traded the mom in for a wife, you know.
Well, yeah.
But
you know?
that's a good
And
good
she
wife.
looks for a father figure.
Yeah, that's a good wife. Like, she takes care of me. When I'm sick, she makes sure I have my medicine. And did you eat? Did you do
Our
this?
wives are amazing.
Yeah. But that's a good wife.
We should do something nice for our wives.
Yeah, we probably should.
You know what? We were talking about Mexican restaurants. Let's go to Juanita's.
Where's that at?
Oh, man. Little hole in the wall, little place in a strip mall. excellent food.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Erica would love it.
The 4 of us, we should definitely do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm down.
Yeah, they make the best micheladas I've found in the whole city. Most places, you ask for a michelada, it's like some white server come to you and be like,
What?
I'm not sure what that is. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah.
This is a Mexican-owned and ran little restaurant.
Hell yeah. That sounds good as fuck.
And I always get the molcajete.
Mm.
That's so good. And it's so much food that I just ordered one, and Danette and I split it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good Mexican restaurant. Big portions.
Yeah.
Big portions.
Yeah, we definitely have to go there.
Yeah, I'm down. That'll be good. Erica loves Mexican food, so
Good.
she's constantly wanting to go.
Danette constantly be like, I don't like Mexican food. I don't like the spices. I was like, I don't think you've ever had...
Good Mexican food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the real thing.
Yeah. It is spicy for sure, but...
Well, sure enough, I took her to this place, and she was like, this is amazing. It's so good.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Erica needs... she needs something nice done for her. She's been, doing a lot with the baby.
Yeah.
You know.
Danette and I, we're still trying. We're both older, so
Yeah.
we need to be patient.
It's pretty crazy. I'll, because Erica and I didn't want to have children. We were good, just the two of us. And
Yeah.
when we talked about it, we were like, do you want to have kids? I was like, nope, I'm good. Neither one of us wanted to have kids. And I guess we weren't very parental, I guess you could say. We didn't have...
time?
Yeah, at the time. But it's kind of cool seeing someone who's, anti-kids and be such a good mom,
I think that's probably just fear.
I think it's also just genetics, you can't deny the maternal instinct, and I've seen that just take over with her, and that's something that she can't even help. It's so deep in her genetic code to be maternal that you can't fake that.
See, I was fortunate with Danette because she had 2 girls that she raised on her own already.
Yeah.
Who are now my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we first started dating, just the way she treated me, I instantly knew after the second day that I've known her, I was like, I want to marry her.
Yeah.
And life has been good ever since.
Yeah. It's that maternal instinct, dude.
Yep.
I knew she would be a good mom from the get-go, because she has that maternal instinct. And she didn't even realize it, but I saw it, just because she'd take care of me when I was sick.
Yeah.
And when we met, I was like...
Unselfish.
Yeah. And when we met, I was 140 pounds, right? And she was like, oh, no, we got to fix that. You're way too skinny, right? And now I'm 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's because I used to only eat once a day when I was working 12-hour shifts, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd usually skip lunch because we never got a lunch. You just work on through.
Yeah.
And so now she makes me eat three times a day, and she'll be concerned. She's like, did you eat lunch? What'd you eat? Tell me what you ate. I'm like, well, I didn't have anything. Why not?
I've gained 40 pounds since I first met
Oh,
Danette.
yeah, it happens.
She wants me to eat all the time. I'm like, I'm not hungry.
Yeah, and your wife Filipino, that's a culture
Oh, yeah.
thing. Yeah, she's gonna feed you.
If I'm not portly, it looks bad on her.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's Filipino culture, Asian culture, Mexican culture. If you're too skinny,
Cultures with traditional values.
absolutely. Yeah, if the husband's skinny, you're doing something wrong. Is he not happy? What's going on? Are you not feeding him? You know,
Yeah.
I dated a Mexican girl one time, and we went over to her, not one time, dated a couple of them, but we went over to her family's house for dinner, you know, and I'm just sitting there talking to her dad, and they start serving food, and I get up to go make my plate, you know. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
You know, mom started yelling at the daughter, like, why is he making his own plate? You should get up here and make his plate for him. What is wrong with you? I didn't raise you like that. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, make sure he eats first, you know, because that's usually how it goes. Just the husband eats first, then the kids, then everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of disagree. I think the kids should eat first. Kids eat first. That's just me. I eat last. I make sure everybody has food. And then
Yeah, I've got the same mentality.
Yeah. But
We both have good wives.
yeah, absolutely.
Let's thank God that we do.
Yeah, she definitely takes care of me. I've been sick all last week, and she was taking care of me. Did you take medicine?
Then it's the same way.
No, I didn't. Well, she'll go and get me medicine. Here, take this. Even shit I don't want to take.
Yeah.
She'll be like, take this. I'm like, I don't like that. She'll be like, well, you taking it anyway?
Yep. I mean, she'll even cook specific things. Be like, no, you need to eat this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hungry. She'll make a plate. She'll heat it up. She'll bring it to me. Eat it.
Yep, eat it. Yeah. See, that's just it's just a natural thing with women, and you can't fake it. You know, you can change your gender, whatever you want to do, but you can't fake shit like that.
Right.
You can't fake it. You know, I mean, my wife was not a mom before our son, right? Definitely not. She didn't know what to do with children. You know, she'd like hold a baby and be like, I don't like holding a baby, you know? But as soon as our son came out, like she knows way more shit than I do, just naturally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can't do this. Like, we got to do it like this. It's like, how do you know that? She's like, I don't know. I just know it. Like, you know, it's crazy. And I've been around kids my entire life, and she knows more shit than I do. It's like, how do you know that? She's like, I just know. You know?
I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to having kids with her.
She can just look at him and be like, oh, he's not feeling well. Like, what do you mean? He's laughing. Like, yeah, but he's not feeling well.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Lost on me. I don't know. As long as he's smiling, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as he's not screaming. That's like,
He'll tough it out.
even like, like, we'll put him upstairs when he goes to bed, right? Put him in the room and he'll go to sleep. And we'll be sitting there watching TV, and she'll all of a sudden freeze and like run upstairs because he woke up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't, what are you talking about? I can't hear shit. But she heard him just moving, not even crying, just moving around too much. And it's all the way upstairs with the TV on. And she
Yeah.
can hear that. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, we have good women, man. Let's take care of them.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, how do you feel about calling it quits on this one? And let's go walk downtown and grab something to eat somewhere.
Sounds good. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I can eat.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining the show. This is Jerks in a Box. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's been a good time.